Hi, my friends. Hi, this is Marta with Universal Power Tarot, and these messages we bring you today are supposed to encourage, elevate, and empower you guys. Hi, my friends. Hello, how are you doing? I hope everyone is safe and well. Yeah, welcome to the channel if you're new. I appreciate you being here. We'll leave this one open because I asked what this one was supposed to be about. I was supposed to do a pick a card first, but that will come a bit later. Okay, so we're gonna go with what wants to come through today and see if this one has an extended or not. So it's still like very much going with the flow, you know. And I already pre-shuffled all of your cards, of course. And what wanted to come out from the Earth Warriors deck is the Circle of Tenon. Look how gorgeous the colors are today. It's unexpected. And I need to tell you a little story whilst holding up this card because I have a feather here. It's an eagle feather that I was given to by a shaman that works with cacao. And so that's interesting. So I put it behind the camera, and all of a sudden they drew my eye to this as the card flew out, and then to this. So it was two messages. One for one I just read for, which is really keep the next feather you find, because it's a sign, a message from spirit. And it's also an important bird that this feather is going to come from. So you're going to relate to this bird and receive messages. Also, this is a general message as well for you guys, not just personal. Next feather you find, you keep, or the next sign that strikes you, you keep. And then I realized that the feather that was behind my camera flew away, and I was like, whoa, where did it go? Because it has meaning to me, and it's also a meaning of lightness, you know, because feathers are really light. They flow in the wind, you know, they just go with it. And then I realized, oh, it almost flew off here, but it still stopped. So I was like, oh, let's get it back. Let's put it somewhere where it's safe. So there's a necessity for us to keep our lightness at this time. I know there's a lot going on for a lot of you. So we really need to stay focused and stay centered. And I know that there's a lot of noise around. I hope you cannot pick up that much, but rather are focused on me and what happens here. But there's a need to realign yourself, to realign ourselves here. And this is going to help you. The signs from spirit that they're sending to you, and mind you, tomorrow, if you're watching this like in time, although it's a timeless reading, whenever it reaches you, it's yours at that time. Tomorrow we have a portal. It's the 22nd of February, so 222, and 2022. So there are a lot of twos that are right there for us, right? And it's the coming together of the divine feminine and divine masculine, because that's what the two means to me. It's that balance, you know, that balancing act between, yes, we have a lot of noise around, but how do we come back to ourselves? And again, this is going to help us. Let me just see, because I wrote it down. Yeah, what came through with this is a rare intersection of heaven and earth. That's clear because that's on the card. The hawk may play an important role in your life, either as a spirit animal or because you're just seeing it a lot. Look that up if you need to, if you feel called to it. Circle of life also. So we had the infinity symbol. Never to be broken. The circle of life is never to be broken. Like, it's ever expansive and it's ever eternal, and there's a lot of hope in that too, and also a need to step away sometimes from really difficult and heavy situations and to realize that this is a game, this is a play, right? Because we often forget it when we're so immersed into something. Then we forget that things can be a lot of fun, although it's a really heavy situation. And I know that this can be triggering me saying this, but that's what that is. If you step back and if you have a good laugh about the situation, although you're still in it, this is like, holy shit, remember when I will be telling this in 5 years and 10 years time, and be like, this was an incredible time, because there's a lot in there with regards to, yeah, being excited about those times. Also, of course, going through stuff, right? But never forget that lightness. Don't let that feather fly away. Don't let that lightness flow away. Secure it so it doesn't leave you. Watch children, how they play. Watch feathers, how they fly. Watch birds as they go along the current. Children of this earth, and this is when it stopped. So we're going to continue from there. What I'm also seeing is the paintings, the symbols, and you know who this is for specifically if you're watching this. So the symbols, and also again in general, if you're watching this and you're painting symbols are coming through either in writing or sorry, As you draw stuff, these are helpful for yourself, but also for others. Okay? Very important. Okay, now let me read that to you, the circle cross of Tenon. Rare intersection of heaven and earth. Your plans and purpose are in alignment with greater cosmic forces. Whether you see it coming or not, things will fall into place and what you have been working towards will come to fruition. A rare intersection of heaven and earth will result in a precious manifestation of grace. The divine shall correct a situation that is in need of realignment. Fear not, pray boldly, and be faithful. All is well. Your soul is a facilitator of sacred union between the spiritual realms and the earthly world. Whether you do this as an artist, oh my god, there it is, a healer, an activist, a priestess, or shaman, to the practices and methods that help you remain open, connected, and grounded, with your heart open to Great Spirit and moved by love for our earth. Now the wind's picking up significantly again, like earlier. Wow. Okay. You are part of a team of souls working to keep the balance of light on our planet intact, accessible, and vital. And know that you shall be helped in countless ways, just as you offer your own will and talent to the sacred purpose of healing in this world. There are times when heaven and earth align and the power unleashed is considerable. People rally and situations fall into place as if by a miracle. Patience, persistence, effort, and energy finally come together, and a creation of tangible goodness takes shape in the world. It can be unexpected. You may even have almost given up hope. Given up hope. Like I said, there it is, the hope. Then suddenly everything comes together. A circle cross of Tenon is a sign of such a thing happening in your world. A moment of powerful grace where spirit makes its presence felt upon the earth. The hawk is typically a solar creature thriving in the light, and yet there are some hawks that are able to hunt by night. You, like the rare lunar hawk, are one who is of the light, yet can move through the darkness successfully. You have enough spiritual light and find the truth. Within you to be able to see your way through lies and deception and find the truth that you seek. What you are seeking is meant to be yours by divine light, right? Keep up the process of growth and inquiry, and it will come to you at the right moment. According to higher spiritual law, through the operation of spiritual grace, the priestess, the one who bridges heaven and earth, dwells within the lunar pyramid of the ancient city of Teotihuacan, known as Tenan, with the circle crosses as her guide. She intuitively knows when and how to call for heavenly assistance, as all priestesses do. Part of her role is prayer for those in her spiritual care, invoking divine love and requesting heavenly assistance and grace for all living beings. This is her spiritual responsibility, to keep the channels between heaven and earth not only open, but healthy and robust, active and stable. Why? Because she's capable of doing so. This is your sacred role also. Pray to the unconditionally loving divine source for all events, for all beings. Take active steps to fulfill your destiny and be the living channel for spiritual grace that you are destined to be. As always, there is a healing process attached that I will post over on Patreon for you, so there is going to be an extended, obviously. I didn't know, that's what I'm saying, obviously, to myself. Yeah, and so you can access it over on Patreon if you so wish. Also, of course, you can inquire this via email. I'm not doing this Patreon exclusive. You don't have to join Patreon if that's not what you want to do. You can just reach out via email at universalpowertarot@gmail.com. Then I'll send you the pictures of this one, okay? I just don't want to post it on YouTube for reasons. It's just not meant to be this public. So you can either join our beautiful Patreon community over there for $11.11 a month. Link down below in the caption. You have access to all the extendeds, all the pick a cards extendeds. Also, if you're interested, this is yours for now. And now we're inquired with the tarot a little bit more. What wants to come out? And there's incredible, so much noise around today. It's all right. I'm having a hard time centering myself also. things are happening in the external world that almost seem to be too much at times, and then I'm supposed to step away. I'm just telling you about this process because I find it relevant to step away and do something else entirely, completely, that brings me back to lightness, because sometimes we're so in it that we can't seem to be able to solve a certain problem, which is why you're supposed to step away and then do something else, because almost by miracle it might resolve itself, or you come back refreshed and then are able to tackle the thing a lot differently. And it's often from a place of being more aligned that it then works. Or try to do things more on the energetic level here as well. Don't try to run outside and try to control the situation. Like I said, it's rather a stepping away and a trusting in whatever wants to come through and what wants to happen, and trust that this is for your highest good. Okay, because yeah, and I just saw what wanted to come. Yep, that one. Jesus. Okay, yeah, we have the Tower here, and then we have the Nine of Swords. So this reading is rather on the heavy side. I was going to mention it earlier, but it will resolve, right, guys? There's nothing to be afraid of. It will resolve for sure. So yeah, I almost want to have the Nine of Swords before and then the Tower, because these are closely linked. So some of you have really been in the funk here, you know, sleepless nights, having anxiety, either about the world, about what's happening, what's unfolding, because there's so much insecurity. Interesting. There's so much going on right now on the outside that, and I mentioned this before, that it's this necessity to go to your inside and feel secure there, or do things on the outside that give you that lightness back, because to some of you it may have flown away for a little bit here. Okay, and there's a Tower that either is happening for your highest good, I want to stress that, or that already has happened, depending on where you are, because keep in mind this is a general reading. And the Tower comes in to break this away, because it seems to be something that you may not be able to get out of yourself, although you may have struggled to be in, you know, a cycle for a long time, much like they did with me. It was a complete Tower that was tied in with a lot of anxiety that got me here. And it was one of the best things that could have happened, really. Of course, there's other things involved, but it's incredible, like how spirit is showing up and how transformative your life can be. It's really, really quite something, and really quite incredible, I'm telling you. And it's not something that you planned out here either. It's something that's just going to happen, or that already happened, right? But again, fear not, because it's going to lead you to your highest good, and you may just not be aware of it. Yeah, Five of Rods. There's a lot of stuff going on, like a lot of tension, a lot of, you know, fighting, a lot of disharmony, basically, either within your family, within your friend cycle, or just in general that you perceive in this world. And it's time this also broke up. But it also, of course, I'm feeling it could cause, and it probably does cause, a lot of tension within your life. But again, remember the circle cross of tenon, and I really want to pull that down again, because I put the cards almost over half of the circle cross of tenon, as though it feels like you may have forgotten that there's something else, that there's a heavenly realm that you can rely on. Okay, full on, you totally can rely on the higher realms here. And it's like you forgot it, but the Tower is here because the divine says enough is enough. Okay, enough is enough. And you may have done the same with some of your relationships. Queen of Swords. So it's really like you don't want no more of this drama, like you're over it. It's like from the Nine of Swords to the Queen of Swords, something happened, or is still bothering you, or recently came up within your life that kind of intensified whatever was already there. And so the Queen of Swords is always one that takes a situation that was bothering her or him and turns it into something positive for their life. So they're actually learning from it. They're seeing it for what it is, a life lesson. And with that understanding, and with that almost higher knowledge, I want to say, and with that restored trust and faith in the divine, there's a pyramid shape that's appearing right now, and that the cards are laid out upon. And on the circle cross of tenon, there's a pyramid also. So it may be really beneficial for some of you to I know that Aaron, he has a YouTube channel. He talked like a while back about that he has like a metal structure on his bed that resembles a pyramid that helps him sleep better and receive better, whatever it is, better insights or something. So there is something about, sitting inside a pyramid shape, but you can also, you don't have to build it. You just build it energetically, right? So first of all, this serves protection. Second of all, you do have, because why did they build those, right? Why did they build pyramids or structures like that? It was to receive the energies. Those were power grids. So it's like you can do that around yourself. Either imagine sitting in one, or you just, draw it around you. And you can do one or you can do two, but make sure like you're fully immersed in it for protection and for that higher light to channel that down. Because I'm talking to high priestesses and high priests here on this channel, so you know very well what I'm talking about when I'm speaking about the pyramids and the symbols that are so important to channel down that light. And also, like the card said, it's in a way a responsibility. Of course, this can trigger something as well. It's like, I didn't choose this kind of thing, right? Um, but then again, it's like, yeah, I can do it. So maybe it's time I do it because of the times that we're in, because so many people need that help. Although, they may not see it, you may not be as visible, but still, it counts. What you do counts, okay? And I want to remind you here, what you do counts. The close, then we have death. Yeah, something is coming to an end or has come to an end. It's also scorpionic energy, and those energies can be quite intense, watery, emotional, very, very deep. Scorpios love to go for the deep dive, and they're, masters in transformative processes to rise from the ashes like the phoenix. There's a lot of shadow work. Yeah, there's shadow work that's coming up currently or has come up with that tower moment that has happened here in your life. But with that, immediately wisdom's coming. It's like, aha, now I get it. Because sometimes we really have to go through these deep dives and through like a shocking kind of an experience to wake up. And this is how usually awakening is happening for us. It's like a shock, and then we learn something, and then something comes to our awareness, and we're so much smarter and wiser, and most of the time also after the processing period, so much happier. So there's a need for you to really step back and observe, like become the observer again to what is happening, and not be so upfront like this right now. Like, don't be here and be like, I need to blah, 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 like this. No, you step back and you become the observer. You watch your hand do this and that, but that's okay. It's not really your hand. You see what I'm saying? This is an illusion that's happening right here in front. You want to step back and be like, oh, okay, it's a hand. It may be mine, it may not be, and there's something happening up front and I can see it. And back there I may still be dancing though, although, right, let that hand do whatever that hand needs to be doing. But back here I'm going to be dancing and having a good time. And even if it's just for 5 minutes, even if it's just pretend, perfect. That works because it lets your brain know, okay, it changes chemistry in the brain. And also loosens up stagnant energy. Yep. Some of you may have left country or may be thinking about leaving your place or your country or whatever this is. It's the Fool card, and we have the close. So something is interesting because we have two children here too. One that is pointing, oh my God, they're so similar. Look, one that is pointing towards the fire, like about to get burned. The mom in the back that's like, oh my goodness. And then there's a child here. This is the first card, however, pointing to somewhere else. So it's almost like something within you intuitively told you to leave a situation. But there is somewhere along those lines where you didn't quite act. And I believe that's where the Tower comes in. Like with the Nine of Swords, there's anxiety, but an inability to act. And sometimes it needs to amp up a little bit more so that we move, that we start to move, so we really get it. But Spirit does this only to move us from one place to the other. And that's what needs to be understood here. And I hope you're getting this message, and I hope it receives you well. Because some of you really may have left with very little here, or maybe leaving with very little, depending on where you are. Because what matters is you, is your life, right? Is your circumstances. It's a realization of what you really value, what's really most important to you, and then move in and live in your life according to this. What I'm getting is actually a man that is selling his house and company and stuff like that. If That's the image that they're giving me, or the situation that they're given to me, just to go to I forgot the name, a monastery, where monks live, and just to give all their wealth away, because that isn't real wealth. Or they realize, they came into the realization that the money isn't where the wealth is, it's within us, and it's in those realms. It doesn't mean that you're never going to be wealthy again, or never going to have financial success again, or something like that. It just means you're moving away from something that didn't serve you in the first place, and you're building on a much more stable foundation from that point on. Okay, and that's the main message that needs to be understood here. Something is breaking down just to build something that serves these ages, these times so much better, because we're all evolving personally and socially, like on a huge level. There you go, Empress, complete abundance. And that's it. I hope you can see. And that's amazing. Someone who's really connected with nature. You're really connected with nature. Child is safe. See this? It's also, if you don't have any children, then it's the inner child, or both. I find these very interrelatable with regards to, when you can relate to your own inner child, you can relate to your children better, and vice versa. And here she is, completely abundant, completely peaceful. But before that, there's a lot of stress. Like, I can feel it. It's interesting, I feel it here. So some of you may be grinding your teeth, and maybe like this. Oh yeah, wow. Some of you may have, like, because we sometimes do that in our sleep when we get really tight here. That's from you, like, biting, clenching your teeth really hard. You can get something from the dentist, is what I want to say here. Like a plastic kind of a thing that you put on top of your teeth, so they don't grind themselves down too fast, because it's gonna leave you again. Okay, it's just for the meantime, to bridge that time, right? You can also use magnesium and massage yourself, especially down here. That helps too. To see this right here, you can run your fingers, like your thumbs, through here. That really helps as well, just to bridge that time, because there is another time awaiting you, one that is incredibly abundant, one where you and your children are safe, and where your inner child feels really safe and nurtured. It's also in the realm of, remothering yourself, I want to say. I didn't want to say reparenting, because it seems to be like female energies, and a lot of tension in the shoulders is what I'm getting, which is not surprising, because when we are like this, and like really on our nervous system, I need to post that video, because it's not ready. I started to design a video series, a week-long video series, to calm down our nervous system. I may just make that one day and just post it, because it's relevant. It's relevant for those times, and it's going to serve so well, because it really helps with simple techniques to really let go of a bunch of stress, right? It's really, really very effective. I'm going to see what I can do and how fast I can, publish this and edit it and stuff. All right. Now we're going to take this over to the extended. If you would like to follow us over to Patreon, link down below, like I said, 11/11 for the whole months for every extended, and also the ones that were created in the past. So if you want to go back to picker cards, because of course they're all timeless, you may choose to do so. Awesome to be part of the community over there if you so wish. And as soon as I have better internet, we're going to start the fellow seekers again. I want to make that announcement too, because I think it may help a lot through these times. All right, my friends, I really hope this was helpful to you and or insightful. Sending you so much love, light, and shadow, and I'll either see you next time or over there on Patreon. Bye, guys. Love you.